There is a silent rule that governs every room you walk into, and most people never become aware of it. Before you speak, before you explain who you are, before you prove anything at all, you are already judged. Not by your ideas, not by your intentions, but by what you present. In a fraction of a second, people decide whether you matter, whether you lead or follow, whether you are worth listening to or easy to ignore. You may call it superficial, but the human mind calls it efficiency. It does not wait for truth. It reacts to signals. And your appearance is the strongest signal you send. Most people spend their lives believing that who they are on the inside should be enough. That if they are intelligent, kind, or capable, the world will eventually recognize it. But the world does not operate on hidden value. It responds to what is visible, what is structured, what is clearly communicated. And this is where most people lose, without even realizing they are in a game. Because while they focus on being understood, others focus on being perceived. Carl Jung understood this deeply, and he gave it a name. The persona is your mask. Not a lie, but not your full self either. It is the version of you that the world is allowed to see. And whether you build it consciously or not, it exists. Every detail, your posture, your clothing, your expressions, your presence forms this mask. The only question is whether you designed it, or whether it was assembled by accident through your habits, your fears, and your lack of attention. Because if you do not define how you appear, the world will define it for you. And the world is not generous with undefined people. An undefined presence is interpreted as weakness, as uncertainty, as something that can be overlooked without consequence. This is not cruelty, it is pattern recognition. The mind looks for signals of order, discipline, and control. When it does not find them, it moves on. This is why appearance is not about vanity, it is about authority. It is about sending a clear message before you ever speak. I am intentional, I am structured, I am not an accident. The most successful individuals understand this at a level most people never reach. They do not treat their image as decoration. They treat it as a system. Every element is aligned. Nothing is random. Even what appears effortless is carefully constructed because they understand something most people resist. Perception creates access. If people perceive you as valuable, doors open. If they perceive you as uncertain, doors remain closed, not out of malice, but out of instinct. And this is where things become uncomfortable, because many people reject this idea. They want the world to see them for who they truly are. They resist the idea of the mask, believing it is inauthentic. But what they fail to understand is that the mask is not the opposite of truth. It is a bridge to it. You are not hiding behind the persona. You are shaping the form through which your deeper self can operate in reality. And when you refuse to shape it, something else takes control. Most people think their life is determined by circumstances, by luck, by timing. But very often, it is determined by what they never took control of. The small signals, the details, the way they present themselves to the world every single day. Neglect is not neutral, it communicates. A careless appearance tells a story of someone who does not prioritize themselves, who does not command their own life, who is not ready to be taken seriously. And the world listens to that story, even if no words are spoken. Because everything you do or fail to do becomes part of your identity in the eyes of others. And identity determines how you are treated. This is why transformation often begins from the outside. Not because the outside is more important than the inside, but because it is visible. It is the first layer of reality. When you change how you present yourself, you begin to change how you move, how you think, how you carry your presence. You begin to embody something different, not pretend or embody that at first it feels like effort, like you are stepping into something unfamiliar. But over time, the between who were and who present becomes thinner. The mask starts to influence the person behind it. And this is where the real shift happens. Because the persona, when used correctly, does not trap you, it elevates you. It becomes a structure that pulls you upward. It demands consistency. It forces alignment. It eliminates the chaos of being undefined. You begin to act in accordance with the image you have created. You begin to grow into it. And slowly, what started as a conscious construction becomes your natural state. This is how destiny is shaped. Not through one decision, but through repeated signals. Through consistency. Through the alignment between what you show and what you become, people start to respond differently. Opportunities begin to appear. Not because the world suddenly changed, but because you became visible in a different way. You are no longer overlooked. You are recognized. And eventually, you are expected to be where others once doubted you could reach. That is the power of the mask. It is not deception, but it is direction. So the question is not whether you wear a mask everyone does. Every single person you meet is presenting a version of themselves to the world. The real question is this: did you choose yours? Or are you living inside one that was built by your fears, your past, and your lack of awareness? Because if you do not take control of your image, you are not just ignoring appearance, you are giving up control over how your life unfolds. And once you understand this, you cannot unsee it. You begin to notice everything. The way people carry themselves, the way presence shifts the energy in a room, the way certain individuals are listened to before they even speak. It is not random. IT is designed and now faced with euch. To remain invisible or to become intentional, to hope the world understands you or to make it impossible to misunderstand you. Because in the end, you are not just what you are inside. You are what you have the discipline to present, and that presentation becomes your reality. If you want to understand the deeper psychological laws that shape how people see you, how power is perceived, and how identity is built, subscribe to Perpetual Echoes.